If you ever plan to get an Apple Magic Keyboard for your iPad with the high cost of around $300, or even an alternative like the Logitech Folio Touch at $150, then you should wait a second. Because if all you need is just a keyboard in a close proximity with the ability to display your iPhone, phone, tablet, or at a lower cost, then this is it. This is the Ajazz K620T, a wireless Bluetooth mechanical keyboard with some surprises. Let's check it out. Hey guys, it's San. Welcome back. Now this video's keyboard was sent to me to showcase by epomaker, and it's gonna go live on Kickstarter at around August 19. Obviously, when comparing this keyboard to others in the high-end price tag, you're gonna be missing some features like having the tablet sort of float in the air, or have a trackpad, or possibly like a more optimized connectivity between device and keyboard. The Ajazz has a fixed cradle dip where you insert your devices. It has a volume wheel, no trackpad, but it's mechanical. If you're a beginner to mechanical keyboards, the main difference between a chiclet style Mac keyboard versus a mechanical is just like durability, customizability, and the overall feel you get. A good place to learn about this kind of stuff is a website that I use sometimes, and it's called Keyboard University. You guys should check it out. I'll put it in the description for people who are new. Ajazz comes in white and black. Here I have the white version with light blue Ajazz switches. There's also pink linear switches option as well. Now this keyboard has Bluetooth 3.0 wireless with a 4400 milliamp hour battery, which is pretty huge for its size. It says you can get around 880 hours, which is around 36 days with no RGB use. Compare that to 50 hours with RGB. You can hook up to 3 devices, but I don't see me using 3 phones connected at once. Connecting my tablet, laptop, and PC is for sure a thing though. It's 60%, but the top extended section makes it look like it's something else. But I don't know, I kind of like it. It doesn't have any function keys or anything like that, but with this design, I think it works. Since this is a sample product, there's no software I could find, but there is a way to change the brightness, speed, and 19 lighting effects within the keyboard shortcuts. Basically, you have to hold FN, bracket, and backslash for the speed, brightness, and effects. The lighting in this keyboard isn't all that bright. It would have been amazing to see a luminous keyboard at a $50 price tag. On the website, I would say it's very accurate to how it's being portrayed. It basically has like a budget RGB look. Inside the box, all it came with is just the keyboard and the USB Type-C cable. It's like around 1.5 meters. No manual or anything, but once the Kickstarter is live, I suggest you guys to go check out the other options that's available because this is, a sample. The build is somewhat smooth all around. It's ABS plastic, except underneath, which has sort of like a slight roughness to it. It has fixed height adjustment, which makes typing relatively comfortable. It's not too low. There's some oval cylinder shaped rubber feet, which is, makes the keyboard more stable. And notice it's noticeably heavier than my 65% that I use. So the keycaps were sort of like a surprise to me because usually white keycaps like this don't look this clean and crisp on the legends. There's no flaws or any like inconsistencies, no ugly shortcuts or whatever. Just nice, clean, crisp cherry profile keycaps. And they're double shot. I really like these. The switches inside are Ajazz Blues, and looking online, well, this wasn't the first time me searching for Ajazz related switches. I guess finding and buying these aren't really an option, and I can't really give much information on these other than they're very similar to Cherry MX Blues in terms of their force and travel distance. The stabilizers do have some noise and rattle. Though this is a thing, I'm surprised how consistent each key press feels with its lube applied. It feels great in terms of bounce despite its noise. If this weren't the case, I probably would have trashed these stabilizers and wouldn't recommend this keyboard because of it. Stabilizers are so important in a keyboard. If you look at the stem compared to another, pay attention to the stem, ignore the switch. The Ajazz is all over the place. I guess this is what's creating the noise. The wheel on the top left is a volume wheel. It works like it should. Click the wheel to pause and play audio, rotate to control the volume. Rotating is pretty satisfying. with a great quality to it since it has like a metallic aluminum feel. This is like by far the fastest way to control audio in my opinion, like by far. I tried to stress it by flicking it real fast. It doesn't really register very well doing that, so you're gonna have to turn it normally. Clicking the wheel would sometimes create different tonalities in certain areas, like it's gripping the plastic on the side or something. The keyboard would have done better if it had like a longer press and a softer touch. I think that would have been a better way to do it. I never really use the click, I just rotate. The cradle is 10 inches in length, half an inch in its width, and its depthness is around 10 millimeters, but it has like a slant for displaying the devices at a certain angle. It looks like it's rubber, but feels almost like a soft plastic. More soft than hard, but not the same material as the plastic case. One constraint I noticed is that you can't really use iPhone cases or any case really with this. It just won't fit. The width is like too much. Without a case, I can fit my Galaxy 7 Edge, Pixel 3a, iPad mini 2, iPhone 4, 6, 8. Even though I don't have an iPad Pro, the iPad mini 2 is I think around 0.29 inch in thickness. Comparing that to a 0.23 inch iPad Pro, the iPad Pro basically fits. But, well, a huge but. With the 11 inch and 12.9 inch version of the iPad Pro, they both work vertically, but in terms of horizontal display, the 11 inch would barely make a fit. I also have a Lipao, is that how you say it? Portable monitor to sort of demonstrate what it would look like on a 15 inch vertical display. It's insanity. It's just way too heavy and it just falls back. I feel like the 11 inch might be the sweet spot. And the Nintendo Switch doesn't fit as well. Sad face. In combination with the wheel, the cradle, and like the small form factor of the keyboard, we also get wireless functionality. It idles in 10 minutes, but it also turns off Bluetooth at around 30 minutes. The Bluetooth on this keyboard, even though it's 3.0, it's pretty good, but I kind of wish there was like a dongle in combination with the Bluetooth because that would give us an instant connection and not having to like mess with the interference with other Bluetooth devices nearby. For shortcuts, I had to find these, but it goes like this. Hold FN plus Q, W, or E to change to 3 different devices. It's exactly like the GK68XS. Hold FN plus bracket, or backslash for speed, brightness, and effects. I already mentioned that. Hold FN plus 1, 2, 3, all the way down to, I believe, 0 for functions. Or you can change them to fixed functions by holding FN and Control on the left side of the keyboard. Surprisingly, there are arrow key shortcuts. So hold FN plus any of the left side keys for the arrow keys. Or if you want to have like a fixed arrow keys, you have to hold FN and then press, I believe, the shift above the FN to activate a arrow key sort of functionality. Pretty cool that they added this, but I feel like the arrow keys on the right side would have been a better option. Seeing as the keyboard is a hard plastic and not like a thin and flat one and has rubber feet, I can see using this indoors and outdoors, not really caring about if the keyboard sort of gets dirty underneath. For AirPod and Bluetooth interference, I didn't really see any with my Pixel 3a or other Apple devices, but I can't really say that with my PC because it uses a Bluetooth adapter. That really doesn't work very well, so I wouldn't suggest using Bluetooth adapters with this in comparison, not comparison, but in use with like an AirPod or any like Bluetooth headset, because it doesn't really work very well with audio data sort of flying all over the air in conjunction with this keyboard. So opening up the keyboard was easy. There were 2 screws and you had to remove all the side plastic all around. The back was a little difficult, but it came off without any issues if you just pried it open with a flathead. Inside you can see the volume wheel, which was sort of screwed and bolted to the PCB. It looks like you could remove it, but I didn't want to mess around with it at that point. Typing experience is great, RGB is okay, quality control is great, no trackpad, but for its $50 initial price, you know, it's not bad. I mean, at least you're not spending $250 more. Comment if you guys have any Apple products or any tablets, or whether or not you guys would ever use this keyboard for your tablets or phones, or maybe any like features of this keyboard sort of interests you. Let me know in the comments below. That's the video. Subscribe for more. Have a good one, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.